Okay, so I'm actually not too familiar with any of those areas,
Right.
but so like what's the where do I see a bomb in GTS? Do you know that?
Yeah, just click on preference processing or down risk under risk management.
Oh, do you want preference processing or
Yeah.
master data?
I think let's try preference processing first. I think it should be in there. Yeah, go back. I think master data.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you see display bill of materials right there.
Okay. Yeah, everything's been in the customs area for me.
Okay,
And
okay.
that only has products, no bombs.
hmm
Okay, let's. Even though that says it was changed by me. Um. So what one of these is?
I
Are they
think we're
all?
doing Ashland, which is going to be plant-based, I think.
That's okay. So let's see if we can. So this is the problem with most of
hmm
GTS is so when you press F1
hmm
on a field, it tells you the field name, the date element, and I don't really know what the primary, but it says table name here. But
Yeah.
if this says structure,
hmm
this is like a dynamic table. Like this isn't a table that's storing any data.
Okay.
It's a structure of a table that's being displayed right now. It
Interesting.
only holds like temporary data, and I think you can some structures. I don't know. Let's see.
hmm
Let's see if we can. So I think I think this helps. Whatever this document was. I feel like this is probably. Oh, that was. That's the bomb ID.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if that's probably not the bomb. The product number. Let's see. What was that again? Let's look at. So the other thing you could do is if you double click and go into that um, object or that element, you can
hmm
click the where used, and you see what table fields this is used in.
Okay.
And so here's all so the thing is okay, so this looks like the right table. It's actually a very well named table.
hmm So on the right-hand side, is that the SQVI or
No,
sorry, that's
so
SE16?
right inside this is actually SE11.
SE11? Okay.
So SE11 lets you see database types, view all of the different objects. SE16
hmm
is just the
Table.
table part.
Okay.
So if you know the table, then you could just use SE16.
Gotcha.
So okay, so let's turn on. I need to move this. I think I can change the. look at field label.
Mhm.
Okay, so this looks like a. Oops. So do you know if you want to highlight this, like I can't highlight it right now. If you click Control
Control
Y,
Y, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
one of those things where you learn like 6 months after you've been in the system, and
Yeah, right.
you're like, oh, do I have? Oh, I closed that. Oops. Maybe I have to put in a plant.
Mm.
No. Maybe it's not an ECC material. Oh no, D37. Oh, okay. So it's just a different type of bomb. I wonder if. Okay, so here let's look at one. Let's find one that's WR. Okay, so
Mm.
it looks like this table. Bomb HD has your product number and the type. So let's look at one of these.
WRK. Cool.
That's WRK type. This is sort of fun for me because I've never actually seen these screens before. Okay, so let's see if F1 on this stuff gives you anything
Okay.
helpful. No, so those are
Structure.
just structure. But I guess, actually, I think, so let's see, is this, so when you're in here, so here, let's just look at that one. So I don't know why there's two different ones in here. Do you know what model ID is?
Mm-mm.
Model ID. Let's see. Okay. Well, so we definitely want. Nope. That's not the right notepad.
Yeah.
I have the hardest time keeping when I'm
Call. Sorry, what was that?
was that Eric?
Yeah.
That's I was like, I recognize that voice from the call.
That's
I was just
hilarious.
Okay.
Or call, sorry.
So if you put when you're in here, if you put a star and you press F4,
Okay.
it'll pull up anything that fits that criteria.
Okay.
So that just made sense that it would be bomb IT.
Item.
Okay, so let's open the bomb header.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to find is essentially the links between the tables in order to make a SQVI.
Right.
So like this, I'm pretty sure this is the problem, is that there's these GUIDs are, if I'm thinking, let's see if I let's look at the actual field name. Okay, so like this one, I'm sure if I look at, oh, there we go. If I look at the technical information for both fields, oh, how did that? Okay, so you got, so in the bomb HD, it has the GUID. It's this GUID is it's like basically the unique identifier for this bomb,
Okay.
and then it gets linked to the item through the bomb HD. So it's usually the second one. So like this top one would be, so when I open this, it's probably gonna be, yeah. So this is the same for all of them.
Okay.
Like so all of these items belong to this header bomb, and this is like the unique identifier then for that line item.
Okay.
So let's see what's. Yeah. Okay. So this is enough. This is enough to show you then how SQVI works. So you need, because usually you need at least 2 tables for it to be worthwhile. So I don't actually know, how the SQVIs work for them, because most places it's per person. Like when I create this, you're not going to be able to see it.
Okay.
And I don't know if they found a. Oh, let's see. So you give it a name, and you'll say create.
Right.
And then you give it whatever title you want. And then the data source, if you just said table, you could then put 1 table in here.
Okay.
And it would just pull data just from this table, and you could sort of make your own selection screen for how to pull data. But so what we want is, under data source, we want table join.
Right.
And then either basis or layout mode's fine. The next screen's going to be the same no matter what. So then you get here, and you're going to click this second icon, is insert table. So we'll put the first table was the header, and so then you can see all the fields of that table.
Nice.
And then we'll put in the item table, and that actually did it right. So basically, this is going to do a join. Like this line right here is
a join.
Is a join.
Okay.
So this is where things get tricky. Like this is correct. Like this, you want the bomb HD to the bomb HD, but sometimes you'll be linking a GUID to another table that GUID's name is not the same, and you'll have to change. Like if I knew I wanted it to be the top one, I could change it.
Oh, simple.
Or I could change it down to this one.
Okay.
Nope. See, that's the thing. That's the trick in
Okay.
If they're not the exact same like type, you can't link them up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, but so then I think you can click this guy to check the link, which I think if it didn't let it, if it was wrong, it wouldn't have let you do it.
Do it in the first place, okay.
Yeah. You can do, like, how, I don't know how much you know about how table joins work. So this right now is well, like, so in the example we saw, there's like, what, 10 items in one header. And so you'll see 10 lines with basically you'll see all the data at the item level will be unique for its own line, and the data at the header level will be duplicated for every line that you get the item level.
Okay.
Now, if there was, say there was a header, but there was no items for it, if you did this link, since nothing would exist in this item table, nothing would show up on this, because the join is it has to exist in both tables.
Right.
Now, if you change the join to a left outer join, an outer join means it tries to find a link in the second table.
Right.
And if it doesn't exist, it still takes the data from the first table. So, like, you would do that if there was a table that had extra data that might be there. Like, if there might be a description, but maybe there isn't, you could join on it, and you'd say left outer join, because you'd still want the rest of the data, even if there wasn't anything in that one last table. So that right there can kill a SQVI if you try to get too complicated, and they're all inner joins. If something doesn't exist in one of the tables, then nothing would show up anywhere.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then I think you just click back, and it goes to so now so this is where you basically create what you want to see in the SQVI. If you want to add another table later, you go over here to this data source tab, and then click change join.
Okay.
And then you can add another table.
Okay.
I have noticed I haven't really played around with it that much in GTS. If I add another table and then go back, it's hard to delete a table that already exists. So sometimes you have to, if you need to rework the whole thing, you need to just go back and start a new one.
Oh wow. Okay.
But usually they aren't too complicated.
So now when he means by creating a SQVI for the complete BOM, this is the process that he's talking about, right?
Yeah. So basically he's talking about is, like, what information do you want about the bomb, and then you need to essentially figure out, like, what tables it's stored in.
Okay.
So, like, so when you come here, you've got list fields and selection. So anything you put a check mark next to in the selection shows up in your selection screen.
Okay.
And then anything you click as a list field is a field that will be actually outputted in the report.
Does make sense.
So let's see. So let's just do, okay, let's see, logical system product. And then let's say we only want to select on the system and the product and the preference model.
Okay.
And so then you can add at the item level. I am not sure what's and then we can save it, and then you'll just click execute, and so then the few fields I put on the selection screen. Oh, that's weird that it's not a drop down. So we should get those two. So let's see. Oh, I see. It looks like that's why there was two, because one's D20, one's D37.
Gotcha. Two different.
So like so the header information right here. This is all just duplicated, and then this is where the item level information started.
Oh. Gotcha.
But so let's keep okay. So know now? Do you necessarily know what more information you need from the bomb screen?
No, see, that's what we needed to speak with Eric about. So that's what we were trying to figure out is what he meant by just creating the SQVI. So I guess the first step would be to just create a SQVI for the BOM, the vendor declaration, and the active conditions. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know how advanced their squibbies are. Like, I don't know if he wants to get things like this, like because so this isn't stored at the bomb level. This
Okay.
like they're basically as if he's using this product number
Right.
to then look up into another table that has product descriptions
Right.
to get the product description.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, let me get started by at least making the squibbies for him first. Right.
Yeah.
So that would be the first step. Is so basically now once you save it, it should be there. He can go in there and make changes if he
Well,
wants to.
so that's the thing is I don't know how, because I know like if you go into our GTS system, you won't be able to see this that I just created.
Oh.
I don't know if they have a way or if they
So it's user specific.
yeah,
Okay.
but I know like
Yeah,
yeah,
you
because it's
wouldn't
quick
be.
views for user JTensor. Yeah, like I'm only seeing one, and obviously like I bet you Francis and Eric have both, and a lot of other people have probably made squibbies.
Okay.
Like
Right.
I don't know
Way
if
to
they,
see.
yeah, I don't know if you can like export it and have someone else import it into theirs. I'm not sure
Okay.
how he does that, or if he's just gonna be like, if it's just sort of like you give them, like maybe they just get like a screenshot of
That.
how this looks, and then what you put here, and then it's just like a roadmap for them recreating it.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So yeah, that was it, right? That was just the basics of creating a squivy. That was pretty straightforward, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, when you go to do it, you might just be like, yeah, none of this might have sunk in
Yeah, right.
because it's, I mean, sometimes just figuring out the tables, like figuring out these tables, it was they're sort of well named,
Right.
but it's like if you, let's see, where was that? Like here, it seems like okay, like I'm not entirely sure where the plant was stored.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if that's. Yeah. Well, and so Frances gets mad at me for doing this. She says, "Why are you doing that?" There's a transaction called ST05.
Mm-hmm.
And what ST05 is, it's an SQL trace.
Okay.
And if I turn on the trace, and then I do something, like I'm going in here, and now I turn off the trace, and I display the trace, it should show. So basically, this is all the different like object names are. This is all the different tables it hit. Like if you see right here, bomb HD.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows you. So basically this is what it sent. It sent select distinct where. That's just the client number.
Right.
So yeah, here's the product we sent.
Interesting.
And so then my guess would then be is that this PNTPR, this GUID must be, so in here there must be a, yeah, so there's a GUID PR here,
Mm-hmm.
from this product went to open SE16. Obviously, I have the maximum number of windows open. All right, PNT, PR. So then the PR GUID from the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it even did with that. Oops. Oh, it must have used, maybe it's just checking dates or something.
Right.
Let's see. RT. Okay, this must be where I was getting. I'm guessing it's this one. I'm guessing it's the English. But so like that. So like this. So basically using the GUID PR
Mm-hmm.
from the bomb header they got from this table. It looks like it also must have also said, oh yeah, it's a language English. That would give us this record, which has fuselage parts.
Right. Fuselage.
So that's where it got this
Okay.
name here.
Oh wow, interesting.
So that's like, some people like to just figure out what that'd be the very advanced thing would be is figure out what program this is and just see where it selects all the information from.
Okay.
I like to sort of use this approach where I can see it gives you a good indication of like, okay, if you look at all of the tables here that have /SFPSLL,
Mm-hmm.
odds are if there's data here on in the bomb screen,
Right.
it had to have come from one of these tables because those are the only tables it selected data from.
Right.
And so, I mean, you some things are like, okay, so in this case, it seems like anything that's bomb HD GUID must be header related, and then anything GUID PR must be getting product specific information, and I think CTS num is getting like HTS code specific stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that must be where these came from.
Right. That makes sense. Cool, man.
And so let's see. Yeah, so I guess it's a matter, like, I don't know, I don't know what he's looking, if he's looking for basic, like something that someone who sort of knows what they're doing would use as a tool, or if like it's something that like, because I feel like once you're going to the trouble of adding like the short text for products instead of just the product number, then it's like that's the person who's using the report. If they're not technical enough to know that, then the report's probably not that useful.
Right. Yeah. So I do have a meeting with him around 2:00, so I might ask him those questions.
Yeah, and then if he needs something more, if you need anything else, just let me know.
Yeah, definitely, Jake. No, so far I think everything is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and just create those queries as he wants, and then once I meet with him this afternoon, if there's any questions, we'll reach out to you.
Okay.
Yeah, Jake. Thanks, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, dude.
No problem.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay.